Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here today. Today, I'll be presenting on the topic of personal identity and survival over time, focusing on three major thinkers: John Locke, Derek Parfit, and Jennifer Robinson. I'll be defending a refined version of Locke's theory, one that preserves moral responsibility, logical consistency, and intuitive judgments about what it means to remain the same person through time. So, what is the central question? What grounds personal identity and survival over time? At the heart of this philosophical debate is a deep question. What makes you the same person today as you were yesterday or 20 years ago? Why does it matter? Because everything from assigning moral blame to recognizing someone in court to imagining life after death depends on how we answer it. This is the process of how we assign moral and legal responsibility. It influences our understanding of memory, consciousness, and personhood. Philosophers have taken different approaches. Locke focused on memory, Parfet on psychological continuity, and Robinson on the causal uniqueness. Each has its strengths and its flaws. So, what is the overview of these theories on identity? Here's a quick breakdown. Locke believed that your identity is tied to your memory. If you can remember doing something, then you are the same person who did it. Parfait says identity isn't what matters. What matters is whether you're psychologically continuous. That allows for the idea that multiple people could survive from a single one. And Robinson insisted that identity has to be non branching, it must be exclusive and causally coherent. My argument is that a refined version of Locke's theory, which includes a causal and non branching memory chain, solves the problems that both Parfit and Robinson raise. Just to go back real quick. Identity equals memory plus an unbroken non-branching causal chain. So Locke's memory theory. John Locke argued that identity is not found in the body or even the soul, but in continuous awareness. His famous prince and cobbler examples show that if a prince's memory were transformed into a cobbler's body, we'd still say the same person is the prince. That's because it's memory that matters. But Locke's theory faces criticism. What about memory gaps? What if memories are false or fabricated? Without safeguards, memory alone seems insufficient. Hughes' refinement of Locke. This is where philosopher Hughes comes in. He defends Locke by saying that memory needs to be causally connected to actual experiences. That means memories can't just be born or artificially implanted. This makes Locke's theory stronger. It allows for normal uh, forgetfulness while filtering out false or disconnected memories. Importantly, it also keeps moral and legal responsibility intact. If you're causally connected to a past action, even if you forgot it, you're still the same person who did it. Parfit's psychological continuity or relation. Parfit takes a moral, radical view. He argues that personal identity isn't important. What really matters is psychological continuity. His R relation includes connected memories, personal traits, and intentions. In his fission thought experiment, one brain is split into two bodies. Both new individuals have the same memories and traits. So, Parfait says both survive, but neither is uniquely you. This challenges everything we assume about being a distinct person. The challenge can both claim to be the same person, or it can either be held responsible. Both survive, but the identity doesn't matter. Problems with Parfet's view. Loss of identity equals loss of accountability. No one is you in a unique way. But Parfet's theory has serious problems. If identity matters, then who's accountable for your past actions? Can two people go to jail for one crime? His theory breaks down the logical structure of identity, which should be one to one, reflexive, and transitive. Critics like Rhea and Silver argue that Parfit's model becomes incoherent when paired with common theories of persistence like endurantism, where a person exists wholly at every moment in time. Robinson's critique of Locke and Parfit. Robinson critiques both Locke and Parfit. She says identity must be non-branching and only one person can be you. It's exclusive. Thought experiments like memory implants or cloning show how easy it is to confuse psychological similarity with real identity. If two people each claim to be you, identity collapses. Against Locke, she argues that false memories break the chain. Against Parfait, she warns that survival without identity leads to absurdity. Absurdity. You could have multiple selves claiming your life. The refined Lockean theory. So here's my solution. Refine Locke's theory by keeping the focus on memory, but adding two rules: causal continuity and non-branching. You are the same person only if there's a single, uninterrupted, causally connected memory chain. This solves Parfet's fission problem. If the memory chain splits, then neither branch is truly you. It also addresses Robinson's demand for uniqueness. Identity is preserved only through one consistent psychological path. Eliot's causal continuity requirement, CCR. Robert Eliot's idea of a causal continuity requirement supports this. He argues that memories must be connected to past experiences by a causal chain, not just by similarity. That rules out copies or clones who just happen to remember the same things. This adds metaphysical structure of Locke's idea and helps us distinguish between real survival and imitation. Without CCR, anyone could be you. And that clearly doesn't make sense. So, why the refined Locke theory prevails? One self, one moral agent, one line of responsibility. So, why does this refined theory work better? It provides ethical clarity. Only one person is morally responsible. It follows the logic of identity, no contradictions or branching paths. It explains survival in a way that matches real human experience. By combining Locke's focus on memory with Eliot's CCR, causal requirement, and Robin's insistence on uniqueness, we get a balanced, strong, and philosophical, defensible account of personal identity. And to conclude this presentation, to wrap it up, Locke gave us the foundation by tying identity to memory. Parfait challenged this by saying identity isn't necessary, but that view leads to ethical confusion. Robinson demanded a stricter standard, and she was right. A refined Lockean view that includes a causal, non-branching memory chain offers the best answer. It preserves our intuitions, supports moral responsibility, and withstands the toughest philosophical challenges. So the final claim, a refined Lockean theory, offers the best framework for grounding personal identity and survival. We're excited. So these are the texts I relied on from Locke's Defenders to Parfit's original article and critiques by Eliot, Robinson, Rea, and Selver. They provide the grounding for everything that we discussed today. And some questions and discussions. First of all, I'd like to thank you for your attention. These are some questions for you to answer, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think identity should be one-to-one, or do you think one-to-one? Does Parfit's view seem more realistic in an age of cloning and AI? And what implications do these ideas have for real-life ethical decisions? Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys uh, listening to my presentation. Have a great day. Good luck. Bye.